Welcome to the FDA QRC 2019 GXP Updates Pharmacovigilance. This session is being provided as a recorded learning. You may request a certificate of completion using the instructions located on the last slide. We are pleased to provide technical content to the industry, and should you have any questions, please reach out using the contact information provided at the end. I'm Randall Morris and have more than 20 years experience working in clinical care, clinical research, conducting inspections, audits, and regulatory affairs. I've worked as a clinical nurse, clinical research coordinator, FDA investigator, and FDA compliance officer, and my experience includes conducting many investigator site audits and review of numerous cases as a compliance officer. I began working with FDA QRC in October of 2019 as an auditor after working as a compliance officer with the US FDA. I earned my Master's of Science in Nursing Clinical Research Management from Duke University in 2012. So let us take a look at the agenda. We're going to cover a brief overview of new guidance and information from FDA, new guidance and information from EMA, MHRA updates and items of note, and some inspection metrics for 2019. New guidance from FDA. Risk evaluation and mitigation strategies. A REMS is a required risk management plan that uses tools beyond the prescribing information, the package insert, to ensure that the benefits of certain drugs outweigh their risks. If the FDA determines that a REMS is necessary to ensure that the benefits of a drug outweigh its risks, the FDA is authorized to require a REMS for such drugs under Section 505-1 of the FDA Act. Section 505-1G and H includes provisions regarding the assessment and modification of an approved REMS. An application holder may propose a REMS modification at any time. In addition, when the FDA determines that a modification of a REMS is necessary to ensure that the benefits of a drug outweigh its risks or to minimize the burden on the healthcare delivery system of complying with the REMS, the FDA has the authority to require that the application holder submit a proposed modification to a REMS under Section 505-1G of the FDA Act. A REMS is a required risk management plan that uses tools beyond the prescribing information, or the package insert, to ensure that benefits of certain drugs outweigh their risks. If the FDA determines that a REMS is necessary to ensure that the benefits of a drug outweigh its risks, the FDA is authorized to require a REMS for such drugs under Section 505-1 of the FDA Act. Section 505-1G and H include provisions regarding the assessment and modification of an approved REMS. An application holder may propose a REMS modification at any time. In addition, when the FDA determines that a modification of a REMS is necessary to ensure that the benefits of a drug outweigh its risks or to minimize the burden on the healthcare delivery system of complying with the REMS, the FDA has the authority to require that the application holder submit a proposed modification to a REMS under Section 505-1G of the FDA Act. Changes to REMS will be categorized as REMS revisions, minor REMS modifications, or major REMS modifications based on the degree of their potential effect on 1. The information provided in the REMS related to serious risks associated with the drug, 2. The safe use of the drug, and or 3. The actions that the application holder, patients, healthcare providers, and other stakeholders must take to comply with the REMS. REMS revisions. REMS revisions are defined as editorial changes that do not affect the information contained in the REMS document and or REMS materials about the serious risk or safe use of the drug. The actions application holders, patients, healthcare providers, and other stakeholders must take to comply with the REMS or the REMS materials that support those actions. REMS modifications. Proposed REMS modifications are divided into two categories: minor modifications and major modifications. Minor REMS modifications. Minor REMS modifications are divided as changes that have a limited effect on the information contained in the REMS document and/or REMS materials about the serious risk or safe use of the drug. The actions application holders, patients, healthcare providers, and other stakeholders must take to comply with the REMS or the REMS materials that support those actions. Major REMS modifications. Major REMS modifications are defined as changes that have a substantial effect on the information contained in the REMS document and/or REMS materials about the serious risk or safe use of the drug. The actions application holders, patients, healthcare providers, or other stakeholders must take to comply with the REMS or the REMS materials that support those actions. Major REMS modifications include changes to provide new information about the serious risks or safe use of the drug. In addition, modifications to strategy due to approved safety labeling changes or to a safety labeling change that the FDA has directed the application holder to make pursuant to Section 505(04) of the FDA Act are considered major REMS modifications. The FDA interprets REMS modifications that conform to safety labeling changes in Section 505(1)(h)(2)(a)(3) of the FDA Act to refer to modifications that transfer newly approved labeling language into existing REMS and/or REMS materials. Overall, design programmatic and/or implementation changes to the REMS that result from approved and/or ordered safety labeling changes are not considered conforming REMS modifications. Pharmacovigilance of combination products. Guidance for industry and FDA staff. Post-marketing safety reporting for combination products, July 2019. What is a combination product? A combination product is a product composed of any combination of a drug, a device, and a biological product. Each drug, device, and biological product included in a combination product is referred to as a constituent part of the combination product. Under 21 CFR 3.2e, a combination product includes a product composed of two or more regulated components, i.e., a drug device, biological device, drug biologic, or drug device biologic that are physically, chemically, or otherwise combined or mixed and produced as a single entity. Examples of single entity combination products include a prefilled syringe, transdermal patch, or drug-eluting stent. Two or more separate products packaged together in a single package or as a unit and comprising drug and device products, device and biological products, or biological and drug products. Examples of co-packaged combination products include surgical and first aid kits. A drug device or biological product packaged separately that, according to its investigational plan or proposed labeling, is intended for use only with an approved individually specified drug, device, or biological product, where both are required to achieve the intended use, indication, or effect, and where upon approval of the proposed product, the labeling of the approved product would need to be changed. Example, to reflect a change in intended use, dosage form, strength, route of administration, or significant change in dose. A light-emitting device that is intended for use with a specific light-activated drug may be an example of such a cross-labeled combination product. Any investigational drug, device, or biological product packaged separately that, according to its proposed labeling, is for use only with another individually specified investigational drug, device, or biological product, where both are required to achieve the intended use, indication, or effect. Another basis for cross-labeled combination product status. How does FDA review and regulate combination products? A combination product is assigned to an agency center that will have primary jurisdiction, i.e., the lead center, for that combination product's regulation, including for ensuring compliance with post-marketing regulatory requirements. Under Section 503(g)(1) of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, FDA Act 21 U.S.C. 353(g)(1), assignment of a combination product to a lead center is based on a determination of which constituent part provides the primary mode of action, PMOA, of the combination product. If, for example, the PMOA of a device biological product combination product is attributable to the biological product constituent part, the center responsible for pre-market review of such a biological product would have primary jurisdiction for the regulation of the combination product. Regardless of the PMOA, agency components will coordinate as appropriate to ensure efficient, effective, and appropriately constituent PMSR policies and review of PMSR information. For combination product PMSR, the lead center will coordinate with the other centers and the Office of Combination Products as appropriate, in light of the issues raised and expertise needed on review of PMSR information and any responses to the submitter. PMSR applicability. General considerations for combination product PMSR compliance. The combination product PMSR final rule addresses combination products that are subject to pre-market review by FDA. The entities subject to the final rule are combination product applicants and constituent part applicants. Electronic Common Technical Document submissions. 24 months after the publication of the final guidance on this topic, before the effective date of this requirement, FDA will accept IND safety reports to FAERS as part of voluntary submission program. The FDA Adverse Event Reporting System, FAERS, is a database that contains adverse event reports, medication error reports, and product quality complaints resulting in adverse events that were submitted to FDA. The database is designed to support the FDA's post-marketing safety surveillance program for drug and therapeutic biologic products. FAERS is a useful tool for FDA for activities such as looking for new safety programs that might be related to marketed products, evaluating a manufacturer's compliance to reporting regulations, and responding to outside requests for information. The reports in FAERS are evaluated by clinical reviewers in the Center for Drug Evaluation and Research, CDER, and the Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research, CBER, to monitor the safety of products after they are approved by FDA. FDA intended to update the FAERS website with information indicating when they will begin to accept voluntary submissions. Until the requirements in this guidance become effective, the most recent effective version of the eCTD guidance will continue to apply to sponsors submitting IND safety reports electronically for serious and unexpected suspected adverse reactions. A sponsor of clinical trials conducted under an IND must report serious and unexpected suspected adverse reactions to FDA in an IND safety report within 7 or 15 days, depending on the type of event, 21 CFR 312.32c. These reports have traditionally been submitted to FDA on a MedWatch Form FDA 3500A or on a Council for International Organizations of Medical Sciences COMS 1 form or other narrative forms. Currently, FDA requires sponsors of commercial INDs that make electronic IND safety report submissions to use eCTD format. Sponsors submit these safety reports within the eCTD structure using PDF files, but review and tracking of these reports in PDF format is inefficient and labor-intensive. Submission of these important safety information to FAERS as structured data elements will improve FDA's ability to review and track these potentially safety signals that occur during the conduct of clinical trials and will provide sponsors with a reporting format that is consistent with International Council for Harmonization, or ICH, guidelines and reporting requirements to other regulatory agencies. Electronic Common Technical Document applicability. This slide's general gist is that the US FDA finalized a draft guidance that said that commercial IND holders must submit ICSRs in Electronic Common Technical Document format and encouraged non-commercial INDs to do the same. Section 745A allows FDA to establish exemptions from the electronic submission requirements accordingly. FDA has exempted all submissions regarding non-commercial INDs from the requirements under Section 745A. For purposes of the Section 745 exemption, the term Non-commercial products refers to products that are not intended to be distributed commercially and includes investigator-sponsored INDs and expanded access INDs. Example, emergency use INDs. Although non-commercial INDs and IND safety reports associated with them are exempt from the requirements of Section 745A, FDA encourages the submission of IND safety reports from sponsors of non-commercial INDs using the format described in these guidance. Technical Conformance Guide, Electronic Submissions of IND Safety Reports, Technical Conformance Guide, September 2019. The Technical Conformance Guide provides specifications, recommendations, and general considerations on how to submit electronic investigational new drug application IND safety reports to the Center for Drug Evaluation and Research and to the Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research. The guide supplements the draft guidance for industry providing regulatory submissions in electronic format, IND Safety Reports, October 2019, which implements the electronic submission requirements of Section 745A of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, FD&C Act, with respect to electronic submissions for certain IND safety reports submitted to CDER and CBER. IND Safety Report Submissions 2.1.1 ICSR and ICH E2B Data Standards. An ICSR is a description of an adverse drug event experienced by an individual subject. ICSRs are used to communicate information on clinical trial and post-marketing adverse drug events or adverse drug reactions between a variety of entities involved with the review and tracking of safety information. Example, investigators, regulators, pharmaceutical companies, and institutional review boards or ethics committees. The International Council for Harmonization, ICH E2B Data Standards Working Group, was created to provide common data elements for the electronic transmission of ICSRs globally between relevant stakeholders. FDA currently requires mandatory post-marketing safety reports to be submitted to FAERS and Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, VAERS, and certain IND safety reports will be required to be submitted to FAERS when the requirement is in effect. IND safety reports. Certain IND safety report types required under 21 CFR 312.32C1 contain individual safety data from one or more subjects and should be submitted as ICSRs to FAERS. For these types of reports hereafter, the terms IND safety report and ICSR are used interchangeably. Other types of required IND safety reports are reports of overall findings or pooled analyses from published and unpublished in vitro, animal, epidemiological, or clinical studies. The sponsor should submit these other types of reports in a narrative format in eCTD format and should not submit the reports to FAERS. Refer to guidance documents for additional reporting guidelines. New guidance from EMA. New guidance and information from EMA. The European Medicines Agency updated the agency's Brexit-related guidance documents. The need for guidance on pharmacovigilance, specifically for the use of medicinal products in pregnancy, is widely recognized. Safety data obtained in the pre-authorization phase are limited due to the restrictions of clinical trials in terms of size, time, and duration of follow-up, and the inclusion and exclusion criteria for selecting participants. Safety data for special populations are even more limited once a product is placed on the market, if use in pregnancy and/or during breastfeeding is likely to occur. Data collection to obtain a better understanding of risks associated with such use and to identify and characterize risks is important, even where no safety concerns have arisen in the pre-authorization phase. Whereas historically, obtaining data from the pregnant woman on medicine use and outcomes during the pre-authorization phase has been challenging, it is becoming increasingly feasible to access data and generate knowledge on safety in this population. New guidance from MHRA. In 2019, guidance were released in case of a no deal for Brexit. All were withdrawn in Q1 2020. Other items of note: EMA relocated to the Netherlands in March of 2019. changes and updates to the interagency work, including evolution of more collaborative efforts of regulatory agencies such as the Eurasian regulatory body and process. Currently also LATAM looking to create unified regulatory agencies along the lines of the EMA. Inspection metrics. FDA Inspection Metrics 2019. This slide shows that of the PADE sites selected for inspection in fiscal year 2019, 8% were risk-based foreign sites, 58% were products of interest, 44% had no prior PADE inspection on file, and 17% were a risk-based follow-up inspection. FDA Inspection Metrics 2019. This slide shows that the inspections ending in fiscal year 2019, 16% were classified as no action indicated or NAI. 56% were classified as NAI with discussion items or observations of a verbal nature. 16% were classified as VAI or voluntary action indicated with one observation. And 8% were classified as VAI or voluntary action indicated with two observations. Some common PADE inspection observations include late or unreported aggregate safety reports, late or unreported expedited ICSRs, inadequate written procedures, incomplete submissions, late or unreported non-expedited ICSRs. Here are some 2018 MHRA inspection metrics, the latest that were available to me, identifying critical, major, and minor inspection findings. It's important to note that the US FDA does not define critical, major, and minor, but rather OAI, VAI, and NAI, which is different from the MHRA and EMA. Here is the link for the EMA inspection metrics with the last published report dating back to 2017 if interested. Here are the references used for this presentation. We value your feedback in helping us to improve this and future presentations, so please take a moment to complete the survey, and while you're at it, take a moment to receive a certificate of completion for your time invested today. Thank you.